Hello everyone and good morning. Thank you for joining us today. This session is oversubscribed, so if you have any colleagues or friends that haven't been able to make it into the webinar, then please tell them to head over to our Facebook page, PBGCC, where we are streaming this live. If anyone has any questions for Jamilla throughout the session, please pop them into the Q&A box and I will be happy to present them to her. So Jamilla, hi. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, good morning, Emma. How are you?
I'm really well. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Very excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Right, I'm going to pop off screen and leave you to it, and I will see you at the end of the session.
Thank you, Emma. So hi everyone, good morning, welcome. Thank you so much for joining, and we've had like over 250 subscribers, so that's amazing. So thank you so much. So I am here today to talk to you a little bit about session styling. So before I start, I'll give you a little bit of history about myself and my career. So I've been in the industry for 28 years. I absolutely love everything to do with hair. My passion is education. So I've been in education for many, many years, traveling the world, doing many seminars and shows, and I've been very blessed to work on many fashion weeks, including New York, Milan, Paris, Saudi Arabia, here in the UAE. So I've been working in the UAE as the leading session stylist for the last 3-4 years now. And I've worked on maybe 130 catwalk shows. So yeah, lots of experiences, lots of learnings. And I'd just really like to share some techniques with you today. I'm going to try to keep this as salon friendly as possible because I want you to be able to utilize some of the techniques and be able to take them back to your business. So I'm going to start with a very classic editorial look. This is this very sort of soft, gentle texture, angel texture hair. So I want to talk to you a little bit first about the foundation, because the most important thing when it comes to session styling, like for me, when I'm working with designers, it's really, to sum it up, what is session styling? For me, it's about creating textures and it's about creating shapes. So that is usually what we would do. So if I'm working with a certain designer, I would look at their collection first. If their clothing is very sleek, very straight, the hair will reflect that, because nothing is, it's all about it all just working very seamlessly. So this look that we're doing today is very, very textured. I've actually worked with a crimper on here as well. So I've worked with a really fine crimper. So just to talk you through the prep, the most important thing when we're doing any sort of session work is that we prep the hair really well. Like I can be doing a show and I can have like a model with 5 looks for the whole night. So we need to make sure that the hair's going to stay. So the first thing I would always do is first of all protect my clients or my model's hair. That's the most important thing, because if you're working with models, they have their hair done all of the time. So the most important thing is to keep them happy. Because if you have 40 models a night and they're all unhappy, then it's quite a difficult situation. So we've used to prep all of our models today, or my little dolly heads. I'm going to try and make this look as fabulous as I can. We've used Miracle 15. So this is a serum, if you imagine, like primer for your skin. It's the same for your hair. So it protects your hair. It's an amazing base to work from. And it's just fantastic for creating the really beautiful finishes that I need to create. And then the second most important thing in my session world is mousse. So for me, mousse prepping the hair, whether I'm doing a straight look, whether I'm doing a curly look, a textured look, is also the most important thing, because the hair, it will never stay in. If I've got to repeat a look 5 times, it will never stay in unless I've really prepared the hair. So I would always mousse prep the hair, and the way that I do that, I would take 1-inch sections. So all the way through the hair, when the hair's wet, I would take 1-inch sections. And this spray from Osis is amazing because it's a spray mousse. So you can just spray it on from root to tip. It's really light, but really holds super well. So I just literally go through the hair section by section, and I spray it so the hair is completely covered from root to tip. I then blow dry and then start to create my texture. So the texture that I've done today, I want to just talk you through it. If you imagine doing a full head of foils, that's the same type of technique that I've done with the crimpers. So I've taken super fine sections, you probably can't see. I've taken super fine sections and then left a section, another fine section and left a section. And I've crimped the hair. So this is while the hair is still straight. So I've got these super fine crimpers. And what it does, it just gives me a slightly more raw texture. It gives me a texture that's more editorial rather than just a classic glamour wave. And what this also does is it creates like masses of volume. So if you was going to take this back to the business and back to the salon, how I would say that you could do that is you could create a classic glamour wave. And then through this area through here, just below the crown, you could crimp the root area, and this will give you just that little bit more added volume. So I'm going to start to brush this through. So we've crimped all the way through until we get to this top section. The top section here is left as a triangular section, and we have just the natural hair that we've glamour waved. That's because I want to create 2 types of texture. I want to create this super sleek, beautiful, like glamour wave at the front, and then I want to create a very strong texture through the underneath. So I'm going to start brushing it through. And the thing with this is you can't be scared. If you've prepared the hair really well, the hair will not drop, and that's the reality of it. So it all comes down to the preparation. Whenever you're working on shoots or whenever you're working on shows, it's really about the preparation. That's what takes the time. So I've done all of the preparation for all of the models to save time, so I can try to show you as many techniques as possible. And that way you can hopefully get as much from this as possible. So you can see I'm brushing through the hair now. The curl is so strong. It's super strong because I've prepped it super well. So we're just going to start to brush it into place. So again, I'm not scared. I'm going in, I'm creating my movement, and then we're going to start to create the texture. So again, for me, the use of products is really important. Like I can change the texture of hair like fabric by using the right products. So by using the right products, it allows me to create various textures. So here, if I want like a glass-like finish, I can create that. And then by using something different on the ends, I can also create that amazing, amazing texture. So I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to pin this into place just with some small pins. I'm going to, at this point, just use a little bit of the hairspray, and this is just going to give it a little bit of shine and some definition. So we're just going to go through here. So all the products I'm using today are Osis Session Label. It is amazing, and it helps me create so many different textures. So we're just keeping this line defined right now so that I can work on the rest of the hair. So a lot of people always ask me, so what is on trend, what's happening? So I can tell you, like for me, we've just missed Fashion Week this time for obvious reasons because of coronavirus, sadly. However, I'm hoping it will be back for season 2. Let's see. But you know, I follow lots of fashion weeks. I've been very blessed to have worked at most fashion weeks over my career, which spans like 28 years now. So, and you know, the thing with trends is, yeah, there's always with session work, there's always very key things that tend to last a few years. So for me, I would say for the last few seasons, braids have been huge still. So we're getting lots of, you know, braiding technique, very textured. I feel that there's a real strength of like a 70s influence right now. So we're seeing a lot of 70s clothes, 70s like textures. So I wanted to create something with a little bit of that sort of twist today. And then also you get the whole, the wet looks. So the wet look is so huge. It's been on the catwalks for so many years. And I absolutely love it. And, you know, it's changing every single season. It's going, you know, slightly more defined, shall we say. But I've got a little trick to show you how to create the perfect wet look after this beautiful model of mine. And I'll show you how to create that and maybe how to just change a classic flow dry into something a little bit more editorial and a little bit different. See, I'm just going to form this movement. So this is just so that I can start to play with the texture underneath, because I want to create two fabrics. So I want to create this super sleek fabric on the top, and then I want to create this really strong angel texture. Just working through. Here. Just to really hold it in place. Sorry, I'm trying my hardest with this beautiful dolly head that I spent all day colouring yesterday. She looks beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to start to create some different texture. So for me, again, all of the work is done. We've taken each section, we've gone alternate sections, we've created this really nice crimp technique through the underneath. This helps to really make the hair stronger, more fuller, more, you know, more shape to it. It sort of makes it swell slightly, if you like. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go in with some products and create a really nice texture. So this is Powder Cloud. So Powder Cloud is a really soft powder which just really helps me to manipulate what we have. So all of the foundations that we've put in here, this really now allows me to expand that to its maximum. So we're just going to spray Powder Cloud. This is from Osis Session Label. And we're going to just start to create these really nice shapes. This is a very, I just did a shoot for Harper's Bazaar. It was a bridal shoot. And again, the brief for that was very, like, they wanted this really natural angel textured hair. So that's what we created. And, you know, it's very hard to create this texture that's quite undone sometimes, you know. We don't want it to look too set. So like I say, if you was going to take this sort of technique back to the salon, you could really, really sort of work with, you know, the whole crimping technique through the underneath to create more body and more volume. And then what you could do is you could just like obviously keep this slightly softer, maybe not so angel textured. And then we can just literally manipulate the hair into any shape we like. So we're just going to start working the shape. And this is really what, you know, doing shoots and what session is all about. You sort of work, you learn by your mistakes. Some things really don't work and you have to just change it. On set, you just have to change it. You can't be, you have to have very thick skin, because if you have an art director on the set and they're, you know, the hair isn't working for them, that's not what they envisaged, you have to be able to be willing to change it quickly. So yeah, session is quite, you know, it's quite a difficult pressured job, I would say, and also the organization of it. So a lot of it comes down to when we first start looking at potentially doing a shoot, you know, the mood boards, the feelings, the textures that they're looking at is really important. And that's sort of the first thing that we would do and that we would work on. So you can see here now, this powder cloud is really amazing. It's creating this incredible texture that's like, you know, from this side to this, which is a more natural, beautiful, you know, more classic, if you like. But now we're creating this really amazing texture, and we're creating this really nice shape. So we're creating this sort of graduated bob shape, if you like. I mean, if I was working with wigs, I can create the texture, and then I can even go in with my clippers and actually cut it into a shape. It all just depends on the show that you're working with. We're just going to keep playing with the texture, and then side. And then we'll come round. I hope you can all see okay. So again, we just start to manipulate the texture with products, changing the fabric of the hair with the use of products. Now you can see this beautiful colour coming through. So just to talk a little bit about like the actual shows and how it works and stuff. So the shows in, we'll talk about Dubai, or we'll talk about Saudi. What usually happens is we will have the same models for maybe 5 shows. We do on average 100 looks a night, 120 looks a night. So the pressure is huge. So how it works from a team perspective is there'll usually be at least 15 hairstylists that work with me. I support them in creating the results that we're looking for, and then we go through the training on a prior basis. So we go through everything before, explaining how the looks are going to be for which designer, etc. And then we create these, you know, amazing looks. So because the thing is, like, we will only have so much time in between each show to get them ready. So it might be that we only have 15 minutes to get one look ready, because we've got 20 models and we've got maybe a turnaround time of like 30 minutes. So we all have to be completely prepared. So everybody knows what products we're going to use. They know exactly how to create the look. All the prep is usually done in the daytime. So then in between, we can just create these really quick turnarounds really well. Okay, so you can see we're just building this shape now. Again, this is pretty extreme, but it just shows you the strength of using the right product, and also the preparation, because really that's what it's about. It's all about the preparation. So I'm just going to turn her around. She's looking beautiful. What do you think? And now I'm going to finish off with little key products. So here we have, so this is super dry memory. This is the most amazing spray, which basically does what it says. It creates a web. So this hair will not move. Once I've used this, it just creates this incredible web that holds the hair together. And it literally like does this over the hair. So it stops any sort of movement, unlike a conventional hairspray, if you like. Really fabulous texture. And then if you really want it, dependent on, you know, the finish that you want, there's so much that you could do with this. Like, so we could actually add some wet look gel to the root now to create a really nice wet look texture. Or we can just leave it more natural. So I'm going to leave it slightly more softer, slightly more natural. Finish off. It's all about precision, you know, it's all about making sure that every hair is in piece, is where it should be, and also that every single model looks exactly the same. Now that is usually the biggest problem and the hardest thing. So we do have to use wigs, we do have to, you know, be creative to make sure. So you can see we've got this incredible angel texture. And then from that, you know, we can do anything. So if I need to turn this around very quickly, I could start to really mold it, shape it, move it into, you know, lots of different shapes. So I've done a centre parting on this today, however, so just to give you like the updates with the trends, like a massive trend is either a super central centre parting or a very low side parting. So that's really what's trending. That's what we're seeing a lot of on the catwalk. There we go. Look, number one. If we've got time, we'll come back to her and do a little bit more. I hope you like it. So I'll bring my next gorgeous model now. Emma, you'll have to make sure, I have no idea what time it is or how long I'm taking. It'll be a 10-minute warning. Okay, so this is a classic, let's say classic bouncy blow dry, yeah? So nothing overly special, just really well prepped. Again, the use of products. So always for me, if I'm in the salon and I'm doing a blow dry, I would never do a blow dry without using the mousse, because if I don't, it won't hold. So my clients would literally leave, and within an hour they would have no waves left, no curls left. I mean, certain textures, yes, would hold, but a lot of textures wouldn't. So for me, again, even if I'm taking this back to business and back to the salons, the main thing is to make sure that you really well prepare the hair. Always using heat protector and always using a mousse for any type of styling or events or anything. So this is just a classic bouncy blow dry. So I wanted to show you how to make this very quickly into something a little bit more editorial. So I have this amazing product called Crystal Gel. You see this whole wet look is really big at the moment. So this is Crystal Gel. It has an incredible form. You can see the shine. It's amazing. However, for this particular look, I've actually put it into a tint bowl. So I'm going to apply this like a tint. So if you imagine, we're going to go in and we're going to create like as if we're applying a full head tint, and it will really help me to control it really well. So we're just going to make this side like a wet look, so we create a slightly different look. So I'm just going to come to the side. Again, we've gone for quite a low parting here because we wanted to create something that was more on trend. So advise your clients to go more on trend, low side parting. And then we're just going to go in now, sections away so you can actually see. Now this isn't the easiest on these dolly heads, but I'm going to give it a go because they're so bouncy and they're so big. So yeah, it'll be quite testing, but I'm going to try my hardest to get this as flat as possible. So what we do, we take the crystal gel, we use it with a tint brush, and we go right into the root. Spin around. So here we go in, we push it right into the root here. And then we take super fine sections. So here, take really fine sections like you would if you was doing a colour, and apply to the root. The thing about session work is people don't realise, or any long hair work or styling work, it's really about being very technical. Like your sectioning patterns are really important. You know, how thick your sections are. So whether I'm doing a classic glamour wave, everyone is taught to take the sections a certain width. They're also taught to roll their iron or their wand in a certain direction, and it has to be consistent. That's the most important thing. It's like doing an amazing haircut for me, creating an incredible styling. Now this styling is very, it's not very Middle East, it's very, you know, it's very, I suppose, more on trend, if you like. But however, you can most definitely take these techniques back to the business and create something, you know, that's a little bit more forward thinking. Our clients get really fed up, you know, they want something different. And our job as an artist is to inspire them and, you know, share new ideas. It's really important that, you know, as a team, we know what is on trend and what isn't on trend. So it's really important that your own teams know that. so that if a client does come in and they ask, so what are the trends, whether it be in cutting, whether it be in colour, whether it be on styling. So can you see there what we're creating? We're getting this really, really amazing finish. And you can see the crystal gel here. It dries, but it's like super shiny. Got this amazing gloss finish. Just this out of the way. So each section, we're just going to go in as if we're doing a tint, and we just paint it on the root. And this is amazing. It's like pinning somebody's hair back, but without actually having to pin it. So it just looks much nicer, much more finished. So we're just going to keep working this through. So guys, I hope that you're all okay. I know some of our markets have started to open, which obviously the UAE. I know not the rest of our markets in the Middle East are open yet. However, feeling positive that this is the first step to some normality, hopefully. And I think, you know, we're in a much less position than a lot of the world right now. So I hope you're all doing good. And please, like, if there's ever anyone needs any help with anything, please do reach out. So you can see we're creating this amazing finish. So you'll literally see the hair just disappears. So if you see any of my work, you will see a lot of the time there is lots of wet looks because it's just huge. And it's because of fashion. It's because if I'm working with designers who have very, very strong lines, usually they just don't want the hair to be overly visible. They want it to just fit very seamlessly, very like it's not there. So very sleek ponytails are huge on every single show that I've ever done. We will always see lots and lots of ponytails, which are actually the hardest thing to do, by the way. So yeah, but you'll always see that. That's one thing. And the wet look now is still huge. So, and there's lots of different ways that you can do this wet look. You know, you can use it channeling it, so you create this really nice channeled effect, or you can just keep it super sleek, super straight and flat. You can do it with a ponytail, you can do it with the hair just slicked down at the bottom. So this, you can see now we're creating this amazing finish. Last couple of sections. So I want to share with you, because I know a lot of you guys do enter for the Professional Beauty Awards, and before you know it, they will be upon us and we will be hopefully trying to get ready. So I was listening to a couple of amazing session stylists the other day, Guido and Tom Connell, and they are such inspirational people. And there was just a really great advice from Tom. And he was saying, like, whenever he creates a collection, and it just really made me think about the Professional Beauty Awards, and I thought it'd be really nice for me to share with you. But he was saying whenever he creates a collection of images, he thinks that it like creating an album. He thinks it is like creating, you know, an album of songs. He creates his looks, and sometimes he'll release them when he feels it's the right time. He won't ever really shoot all of his looks in one go. He'll literally shoot and then think a little bit longer, reshoot again to create the album, if you like, to create the collection. So I just thought it was a really great idea. Like, so if you are looking to enter for, you know, colorist of the year or bridal stylist of the year, maybe try and like spread it over time and really think about your looks and how to create them, rather than a lot of the time whenever we do shoots, we generally shoot everything in one day. And you know, no matter what, I've done so many shoots over the years, and no matter what, there's always one or two pictures that you hate. Always, it's a fact. And we learn through that. You know, this is the thing, it's really important that we do learn. So yeah, so it was just a great, you know, I just thought it was really great advice what he was saying, and it's so true. Like, look at her, look at your collections as, you know, as that album or as that piece of art. Like if you imagine if you're going to launch all your images in a gallery, the same type of thing. So you're creating these images step by step rather than everything in the same go, because it's always so much pressure. Okay, so there we go. So I'm trying to get out of the way so you can actually see. So can you see just how strong that is? It's amazing. It feels so good. And that just creates this really amazing texture. So we're now just gonna put some super dry fix on that, just over the top. You will have to apologise for, I'll have to apologise. We have a little bit of colour on our face. So there we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to finish dressing the rest of the hair. So we're going to just bring this over slightly. So we've got a very classic blow dry, if you like. However, we've just created a bit of a twist to it. We've just created something that's a little bit more editorial, a little bit stronger. It looks a little bit funkier. So if you imagine, you know, this market is full of people who come for bouncy blow dries or waves every week. So just by creating something like this, will just help it, will help it to just look a bit more modern and a bit different. And the great thing is it's days. Like I did a shoot and the model the morning after, she rang me and she took a picture. She's like, Jamilla, my hair is exactly the same as it was. It literally doesn't move, so it's great. Great. So I'm just going to work now a little bit. I just want a little bit of silk cream. This is like a shine cream, so it's just going to help to create a little bit more definition. So this is just to run through the rest of the waves. And we're just, again, it's all about texture. It's all about creating different textures, and it's really attention to detail. So I'm trying to really keep this as commercial as possible, because I really want you to be able to take something back to the business. I want you to be able to hopefully utilize some of these techniques and the clever use of products in creating slightly different results. And I think, guys, you know, let's face it, we have to be the best we've ever been right now. And I think the last 5-6 weeks has been a huge crisis for everyone. However, I feel it's been a real big learning for everyone. And I feel everyone is probably going back to their businesses so well educated, because we've had such an incredible amount of education online, which has just been fantastic. I don't know if any of you saw yesterday, but very proud moment. So Henkel, Schwarzkopf, and all of their brands did a 24-hour digital festival. So it was all online education for 24 hours, and they were attempting to break the Guinness Book of Records. So I'm not sure if we did or not, actually, because I think it's still a bit early to find out. But again, like, there's been so much incredible online inspiration that I feel everyone is most definitely going back to their business, ready to achieve different things. And really about, you know, being the best version of ourselves at the moment. I think it's a big lesson for everybody, for sure. So that is look number 2. I could play and play and play for hours, but I won't. So that is our wet look classic, you know, body blow dry with a nice little editorial edge to it. Using the crystal gel creates that really nice texture. So my last look, Emma, how long have I got left?
You've got 25 minutes, so you're
okay. Perfect. So the last look that I'm going to do, I want to talk to you about the classic ponytails. Again, these blocks are not the easiest to do it on, so but I have started. So again, it's all about sectioning patterns. So if I was to do this away, and again, this isn't the easiest on these blocks. However, I will try my hardest to show it to you. So again, the hair has been prepared, even with straight hair. And the reason why I would mousse prep straighter hair is because if they're going down, so say a designer comes in and they want just a super natural, smooth look. If you were to just blow dry the hair without any use of products, without anything, as soon as they hit the catwalk, the hair starts to go fluffy. You start to see this real like fluff of texture, whether the hair's thick, whether the hair's fine, and it's just because of the light, because of the heat, because of everything else. So it's really important to just prepare the hair properly. So again, like with all of my models, if I was working with models, the most important thing is to make sure that the hair is well prepared. So always looking after the hair, that's the most important thing. And I think, you know, the reason why I've probably done well in this industry when it comes to the session is because I actually really do care. I really do care about my model's hair. I really do care about my client's hair. It's really important. And if we don't prepare hair well and we don't look after hair well, then, you know, we're not doing our job correctly as I see it. So again, this was prepared really well using the Miracle 15, which is the primer. So this creates a really beautiful base heat protector, so it helps to support the hair. And then again, we've done the mousse prep, so we've used the mousse, which is amazing, the volumizing mousse. Again, if I just tell you, you can just spray it root to tip, and then we blow dried it in. I blow dried it in, and then I just did a very classic big wave, just to create a little bit of movement. I don't want this look to, I'm trying to make it look a little bit more salon friendly, if you like. Usually this will probably be super sleek and super straight. So then to create the perfect ponytail. So you see ponytails all the time on the catwalk, and the big things that is really important to us, what we have to do is we have to make sure, for example, that if we have 10 models, that every single ponytail is in exactly the same place. So we have to measure our sectionings. It's not just about, oh, just throw a ponytail in. It's actually very precise, like, so it all comes down to the eye line, or to, you know, down to here to the occipital bone. It really depends on where the base will be. So, so for this one, I wanted to create something that was a little bit more salon friendly. So I've done quite a high ponytail. So we've worked this right onto the crown. And the reason for that is I want to create something that's slightly more softer. But to create this perfect profile, well, it's as perfect as I can get on a block. You can see, like, it literally is so smooth through here. Well, as smooth as it can be. The way I create this, again, is through using mousse or using hairspray. It depends on the texture of the hair. The majority of the time I'll use mousse because unless the hair is really curly. So what I would do is I would take all the hair, I would section it inch by inch, and I would spray mousse into, I would always work in pairs. I never work on my own, so I always have an assistant. And I would literally take section by section, and I would spray in the root, and I would start to brush. So I would work all the way up in the direction that I'm going to hold the hair to. So if I'm starting here, I would start here, and then I would work down, bring the hair up, work down, bring the hair up, spray the mousse, bring it up. So we're doing section by section all the way through. This creates this super, super flatness, which you get on a lot of the catwalks, and it's very, very difficult to achieve a perfect ponytail, but that is how we do it. So now I want to, keep her there. I want to just show you a little trick of how to create that slightly more high ponytail. So we've got this ponytail now here. I want this to stand up slightly higher. So we have this real, like, Kim Kardashian type of feeling. So all I do is take 2 elastics, so it's strong. I just take the ponytail and I will just bring it up slightly higher. And go tight. Okay, so can you see what that does instantly? So everyone always asks, how do you get that really high, you know, ponytail? Now, if you wanted to carry this on and on, you would just keep adding more and more. Eventually it will become too heavy, so you need to wrap from the base with elastic. However, for this, for what we need today, I think that's more than enough. Okay, so then for this look, what I want to create is something slightly softer, so more commercial. So again, it's all about the sectioning patterns. So here, it's about the eye line. So I go from the corner of the brow. So we go from the brow here, and we take into a diagonal. So we have a triangular section on the top of the head. Again, for session work or for dressing hair, it's really important that you like subdivide and section, and it makes life so much easier. So we just go, so we've got triangular section on the top, we've already got the ponytail in at the back, and then we have the side sections. So we'll start here. So here's my section. So again, this helps to create the flow because we want to make this a little bit softer now. So we take the section from behind the ear to the top where the actual, you can see there, where the actual bobble is based here, the elastic. Also, just to let you know, I always use elastic, so I tie bobbles. If I'm on my own, I would use, I would just use the bobble with 2 curvy grips in, and I would just literally pin it in, twist it round like that, and then pin it back in the other side. However, if I am on my own and I have to do that, because I don't have an assistant with me, I will always then retie with an elastic and take this back out. And the reason being is this ponytail will not move. If I have a model and she's changing maybe 5 times that night and she needs to keep this ponytail, it needs to stay. So I always just double tie with a elastic. Okay, so now we're going to go in and we're going to just create a really nice, classic, slight bit of body ponytail. So we're going to section by section, and again, it's all about when you're dressing hair that you work in the direction that you're going to place the hair. So if we know that we're going to go this way, so we're going to take the sides first. So we take diagonal sections, just going to slightly, just to help with direction, just back brush the root, very, very softly. And again, when I'm back brushing, it's very controlled. You can't just do all of like this because your client will be going crazy, your model will be going crazy. It's all about just keeping it super, super controlled and relaxed as well. Like, you know, whenever I'm doing a blow dry, I don't blast the hair and kill the hair. I'm blow drying very smooth because my body language is very important. So when I'm blow drying, I don't want my client to feel uncomfortable or my model to feel uncomfortable. So the way that I actually behave is also really important. And that's something that I would always speak to my team about as well. I won't allow them to like blast people's hair, you know, like really quite strongly, like a lot of people would do normally maybe in a salon. Like we don't allow that to happen, because backstage, if you do, then it just ends up a nightmare, because everybody gets very angry with you. As I'm just back brushing, I'm just going to add a tiny bit of the powder cloud. Again, this will just give me a little bit more movability, give me that, you know, sustainability at the root. So again, smaller section, and just very calmly bring it in, and then just very softly bring it up. I hope you can see. So I hope you're really enjoying this session, and if there is anything you would like to know, please do get in touch. I'm the education manager for Schwarzkopf Professional for the Middle East, Oman and Qatar. So we will be doing lots of session styling courses once we can get up and running again. So if anybody is interested and wants any support, please do reach out. So again, we're just very softly bringing this. So again, guys, these techniques are just techniques. Like, you know, as a creative person, everyone will adapt these in different ways. You know, they'll say, oh, I could use that on this, or I could use it on that. It really depends. Everybody is different. Okay, so very soft now. So we're just going to build the shape. So now we've got the foundation, if you like. We're just now going to mold this into shape. So we're just going to take a little bit of super dry fix. So this will help to hold but also help me to create a little bit of shine as well. So if we go through here. We're just going to start to mold the shape.
Jamilla, we have a couple of questions that I can run by you whilst you're working.
Go for it. How long have I got left?
You've got 10 minutes.
Okay.
So who inspires you and your work?
Many things, like, so first of all, a lot of the time the people around me, my own teams, you know, I'm very blessed to work with a very amazing brand here. Lounge is our art director, so I'm very blessed that I get to work with many stylists who also inspire me. But when it comes to looks and when it comes to textures, a lot of it really comes from other areas. So it might be that, like, architecture, I'm a huge architecture person. Like, I love like old buildings and the things that you can like create. So I'm very arty. I like lots of art. So I have lots of like fashion books where I look at like silhouettes of shapes and things like that, because that's a really big thing for me. And then what else? Just everywhere in my day-to-day life. But I would say, to be honest, a lot of it is more down to the fashion. And then I would say second, well, a lot of it is fashion because I'm looking at what's happening every single time on the catwalk. But then the other thing I would say is architecture is a huge thing, and art generally, shapes. Yeah.
Fabulous. I think you touched on this just a minute ago, but someone has asked whether you offer training on session styling.
Yes, we can arrange that, no problem. So if anybody is interested, just contact us and we can work that out, no problem. We have lots of different opportunities that we can support on. I'm on Instagram, so Jamilla Paul Hair Artist. You can follow me on there, or Emma can forward my number to any of you, and we can arrange that.
Perfect.
Any other questions? Just to update you, so I've just created this shape, and then I literally just whipped it around. Yeah, so I just create this really nice, and I'm just going to go to the other side now and do the other side. Okay. Sorry, Emma. Go.
Okay. Can you talk through how you made the colour from your first model?
Yeah. So my first model is, so this is an amazing colour. I'm actually in love, to be honest. So this is Blonde Me, and we have some, so from Schwarzkopf Professional, we have some amazing toners, which we use in our Blonde Me range, and I was using all of the new toners. So we have some new toners that are launching. So I used the granite on the root. And then basically technique-wise, so what we did, I'll try and put it here so you can see it at the same time, but I can work at the same time. So technique-wise, I took out a star section, if you like, because I was thinking about, because for me, session isn't just about styling, it's about colour as well. If I want to create texture, I don't particularly want the hair to be one colour. If I want to do a ponytail, a lot of the time I would want the colour to be one colour. So it all depends on what I'm creating. So again, I wanted the colour to be a bit more solid on the top, but then underneath I wanted to create these really nice soft colours. So we used, on the roots, we used a granite from Blonde Me, Schwarzkopf Professional, and then we went through to underneath. So all the top section, star section, was in granite, and then through the underneath we used lilac, and then we used a very small section of biscuit, which is very alternating when it comes to tones. However, it starts to set them off. And then we used ice iris, which is a very pale silver, if you like, and just merged them all together. Beautiful hair, like it. Thanks, Emma.
Stunning. Okay, I'll leave you to finish this this section, and I'll be back after with some questions. So if anyone's got any more questions to ask, please pop them in the chat or the Q&A box. And we've got about 5 minutes left, Jamilla.
Ah. This is what I get for trying to be clever and trying to do at least 3 looks. I was like, I wanted it to try and be as interactive as possible. I'm trying to give Patrick Cameron a run for his money, I think. I love Patrick. Okay, so you can get the feeling anyway. So you can get the feeling of what I'm doing here. It's really about technique. It's like, for me, creating hair up or styling or session work is all about, it's like creating the most amazing haircut. It's the same, it has the same principles. A lot of people, when they do styling, they don't know where to start, and it's because they don't think of it logistically and they don't break it down the same. So I would just suggest that that's the way that you start to look at it, and just section the hair slightly. Here. So again, it's just about creating shapes. I want to create this really nice ponytail, but with a little bit more volume. I didn't want something super sleek and straight because of the block. So if I was working on a model, I would. However, because it's a block head, they don't really fit very well when it's super straight. Okay. So again, super dry fix will just give me some shine. And again, I'm just going to literally whip that over the top. So I just cross it over and underneath. So we also then obviously cover the ponytail through here, get this really nice shape. Right, so I've got 5 minutes. So I'm going to show you very quickly how to put the top in. Okay, so we just obviously work on the width at the front. So I'm going to create a bit of softness, and then literally for the top, again, this has been prepared really well. So with the top, I would just separate it into two. And then we build one side and we bring it round, and then the other side and bring it round. So I'm going to do that. So separate it into two. So again, it's just about your sectioning patterns. And I'm really happy to help. If anyone's got any questions, anything, please fire away now, because I think we're probably not going to have any time at the end. Or if there's any feedback, please let me know. That would be great.
Yes, we have another question. What would be your ideal day at work?
My ideal day at work is inspiring and education. I love to help to develop people. That's like my thing. That is I've been in hairdressing for 28 years, and I love people, that's the thing, but I want to see people become the best version of themselves. So my whole thing is really supporting people, and this is why I'm so passionate for education. This is why education is really the thing for me. And also, you know, my other side, which is my creative side, which is my clients, which is my, you know, I work with lots of VIP clients, I work, you know, with my regular clients. All of that is super important as well, because it makes you who you are and all the experiences. However, I must admit, I did a shoot a couple of weeks ago for Harper's Bazaar for the front cover, and it was just amazing. I'm in my element when it comes to that. And then Fashion Week, Fashion Week's incredible. We have such an amazing time. We work 14-hour days for 7 days straight, and it's completely exhausting, but there's just some incredible feeling at the end of it all. So yeah, sorry, I have lots of favorite days. Okay, so now we're just creating the final part of the ponytail, which is just, again, about breaking it down into sections. So I've separated it into two. I'm going to take one way, one the other. And then we're just going to brush this into place. I want to create a little bit of texture on the top, though. I don't want it to be super smooth. We're nearly there. Any more questions, Emma, from anyone? All done?
Now.
Okay, so you can see what we're creating now. We're just literally, how many minutes have I got, Emma?
We've got 2 minutes, Jamilla.
Okay. I can do this, don't you worry. So look, I'll show you So we just literally nip this under here. You can see the amazing shape that we're creating and the shine. And this all comes down to the products that we're using. So there you go. Secrets of a session stylist. I really hope everybody got something from that. I really hope that, I'm sure there's maybe something that you can take back to your business. Or I hope there is. And I look forward to seeing you all very soon. And Emma, thank you so much. Thank you to Shortcross Professional.
I was going to just say, if you could pop in or send across the after pictures, take a picture of the after look, and we can pop them all on our Instagram so that those in the webinar today can have a closer look. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, Jamilla. And as Jamilla said, head over to her Instagram if any of you have any questions. Jamilla Paul, hair artist. Is that right?
Yeah, Jamilla Paul, hair artist. Yeah.
And yeah.
Voila! Finished. I did it on time. Thank you, Emma. Bye, guys.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. Stay safe and hopefully see you all very soon.